Hey, thanks for coming. I'm feeling in a pretty good mood today. And I want to talk about being in a good mood. In the last video, I talked about the science of success and how Patanjali's Yoga Sutras is the definitive scientific description of how to be in the state of happiness all the time. And because we're moving into the Satya Yuga, the time of truth, Satya means truth. All the mysteries about being happy are going to be uncovered. Well, so let's talk about, okay, we talked about Samadhi, but let's talk about being happy. You may have heard sports figures talking about when they're playing their game well, at, the, at their peak of expertise, as it were. They call that being in the zone. I think one of the reasons why people don't investigate this more is they don't understand it. If they understood it, it would be easy for them to make the decision, oh, I need to incorporate this into my life. The idea behind science is that you can replicate the same result over and over again if you do the right method. So part of the thing about science is what's the right method? But even before then, when you're first looking at an issue, is what's the answer? And initially, you don't have enough data. So one of the things that the scientific method talks about is gathering data. You gather enough data until you can make a hypothesis. Now, Patanjali's Yoga Sutras and talking about Samadhi says, oh, okay, the result of collecting the data is something called yoga, union. It doesn't say with what, but the implication most people give it is God. But it means union with something. So does it matter what you specify that you have union with? No, because one of the things that Patanjali recognizes, as do other real teachers, is that if you have success with something and you like it, you will go on and try to have success with that same procedure. The name for that is called Samyama. Now, some people may have heard of the word pranayama. Well, pranayama means the science of the breath, or prana. So in the same way, Samyama means the science of the self. That's a sort of an odd way to describe being one with something. Swami Satchidananda had a little joke that he would say. He said that intuition is the state of being into something. Intuition. So, it's kind of to make people understand a little better about Samadhi is to give you examples that you know yourself from your own life. Well, okay. Here's an example. You're playing sports, and all of a sudden, everything seems to click. You're in the zone. That's a state of samadhi. Really, it is. However, the scientists that studied this say, well, it has to last 12 seconds. And for you that have been in the zone, you can know how long that really is. Because when you're in the zone, time slows down. And 10 seconds is going to be an eternity. So it doesn't last long for most people. When a scientist is working on a problem and nobody knows the solution, and he comes up with the answer, he has that aha moment. That's the state of samadhi. When you're out in nature and there's no one around except you and nature, and you become one with the silence, become one with nature, that's the state of samadhi. So this is in the first chapter of the Yoga Sutras, to tell you why you should be interested in the state of samadhi. Unfortunately, most people don't describe that state. Because they don't know it very well. They have glimpses here and there. The second chapter is about how to set the conditions to make it last longer when it does come. So they have what's called the yamas and niyamas, the do's and don'ts, that corresponds to most of the major religions. The people that formulated their religion, like the Jewish Ten Commandments, had no contact with the Yoga Sutras of Patanjali. But here they go and they create almost an identical set. Honor their father and thy mother. Okay, another one is, for it came along later, do unto others as you would have others do unto you. Well, the idea is karma is whatever you do is going to come back to you. So better do good because that's what's going to come. Don't have to worry. The science of karma will make sure you get yours. If you send out bad, you get it back. You send out good, you get it back. Science says that electricity can do good and do bad, sometimes simultaneously. Does that mean that electricity should be ignored? No. If you understand electricity, you will make sure that electricity will only do good for you. If you understand karma, you will make sure that you only do the karma that will be good for you. So that's the yamas and niyamas. Then there's things like pranayama, concentration, meditation, and samadhi. Once you understand what samadhi is and what it can do for you, you'll spend a great deal of time perfecting your understanding because you'll get what you want. I mean, people go to school to become doctors. Why do they go to school to become doctors? They want something. Getting what you want is the most important thing. A short story illustrates this, and then I'll be done. In India, they have the science of mantra. And mantra can alter reality. Mantra means a tool for thinking, a tool for altering reality. Okay? Having an effect on your environment without being in touch with your environment. So the science of mantra was prevalent, and their understanding of mantras varies. But one day, a very famous pundit heard about this hermit that lived off on an island who was able to perform miracles. So people would actually go out to the island with their illnesses and stuff and get cured. And the pundit heard, oh, that he was using mantras. So, of course, he wanted, since he didn't know how to make mantras work, in other words, he couldn't perform miracles, he says, well, I must go and meet this guy. I have so much knowledge that if I can just find out how he does it, I surely should be able to do much better than him. So he hired a boatman to row him over to the island. He went and saw the hermit. The hermit knew who he was because he was a famous pundit. And he was so happy. Oh, he says, "Oh, thank you so much for coming here and blessing me." And the pundit says, "Well, no, really, I came because I heard you were able to perform miracles." And the hermit says, "Oh, surely you've come to bless me with making my mantras work better. You're so famous." And the pundit says, "Well, be that as it may. I still would like to see you do your mantras. And then and maybe I can add something to them." So the hermit had learned a garbled version of a mantra, said it, and the pundit was horrified. He says, "Oh my God, you could kill people with this mantra. You're doing it so bad." And the hermit says, "Oh gee, I had no idea. Please, Panditji," that's a term of endearment, Panditji, "will you show me the right way? I only want to help people." And the pundit says, "Oh, well, surely here it is. I'm not going to bother telling you what it is." And the hermit says, "Oh, well, I'm having some trouble with that. Would you repeat it for him?" So the pundit spent about 20 minutes talking to him. And he says, "When you use this in the right way, just imagine how powerful it'll be." And the hermit says, "Oh, thank you, thank you." So the pundit felt very happy because he had done his good deed for the day. He'd helped the hermit to learn the right pronunciation. So very happily he went back to the boatman and told him to row him back to his home. And they were about a third of the way there, crossed the river from the island to the shore, when they hear this sound. Slap, 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 slap. Here comes the hermit, running over the water. And that was his feet slapping on the water. And he comes up to the boat and he leans over. "Oh, Panditji, Panditji, you must help me." And the pundit says, "Well, how can I help you?" He says, "Well, I've forgotten everything you told me about the mantras. And so I just used my old-fashioned way. And my God," the pundit said, "oh my God, there's no need for you to learn what I told you. Go back and do what you're doing that's working." So what's the moral of the story, and how does it apply to Samadhi and to Samyama? Everything depends on your intention. Even the wrong way to use a mantra is going to work if you have the right intention. There's a short story about Tennyson, who was a realized being. Didn't have cities. Okay. His mantra was his own name. He used to go around saying, "Tennyson, Tennyson. In the Bhagavad Gita, when Krishna is talking to Arjuna, he says, when he's talking about the things that are like the avatar, he said, among the mantras, I am the Gayatri meter. What does that mean? A mantra is a phrase that has a particular meter. She's not saying that he's the Gayatri mantra per se, he's the Gayatri meter. And the Gayatri meter is the flow of energy within you to which the Gayatri words, Om Bhuvaha, Om Swaha, Om Maha, Om Janaha, Om Tapaha, Om Satyam, Om Tat Savitur Varenyam, Bhargo Devasya Dimihi, Diyo Yanaha Prachodayat. Can't you feel it? That flow is you. That flow is the seed of Samadhi. That flow, when amplified, is the state of Samyama. No words can exceed that flow. Be that flow and be happy. Thank you.